All right, today we're going to dive into some really deep stuff. We're talking about suffering, forgiveness, and this huge idea of grace. We're going to look at a pretty powerful way to think about moving through profound hurt without letting it destroy you.
And to kick things off, we've got this quote that might surprise you. It's from Jim Carrey. But wow, is it a powerful perspective? He's saying that suffering isn't just the end. It's actually a fork in the road. It's that moment where you have to decide what you're going to do with that pain.
So here's the first big idea we really need to grab onto. Suffering is a crossroads. When real pain hits us, the point is we're not just a victim of what happened. We're actually standing at a junction, and we have a very real choice about which path we're going to take next.
But here's the thing, and this is absolutely crucial. You can't skip the first step. You can't just power through it or pretend it didn't hurt. The idea is that you have to actually sit with the pain. You have to acknowledge the loss for what it is. And only when you're in that honest place can you actually make a clear decision about where to go from here. Okay, so you're at the crossroads. You've done the hard part and you face the pain. Now what? Well, the options are laid out as two very, very different paths forward. It's like you're standing in front of two gates and you've got to choose which one to walk through.
And wow, the choice couldn't be more black and white. On one side, you've got the gate of resentment, and that path, it leads to vengeance. And ultimately, it doesn't just harm other people, it harms you. But on the other side, you have the gate of forgiveness, which is presented as this conscious, powerful decision that leads you toward grace.
So this is where it gets really personal, right? These questions are for you. They're asking you to look in the mirror. Are you going to hold on to that grudge or are you going to let it go? Are you going to keep replaying what happened over and over in your head, feeding the pain, or are you going to starve it? It really brings this big idea right down into our daily lives.
Okay, but let's be honest for a second. Forgiveness, when someone has really hurt you, it can sound kind of crazy, right? Completely illogical. Well, to explain the why, we turn to this incredible parable that totally reframes the whole thing, not as an emotional whim, but as a deeply logical choice. And here it is. This is the big twist, the total mind flip. The logic of forgiveness has nothing to do with the person who hurt you. It doesn't matter if they apologized. It doesn't matter if they deserve it. The whole principle is to base your decision to forgive on the incredible forgiveness you've already received. See how that just completely changes the game?
Now, to really hammer this home, the story starts with a servant who owes his king, get this, 10,000 talents. We have to stop for a second because that number is insane. We're talking about an astronomical, literally unpayable amount of money. Billions of dollars in today's money. There is no way he could ever pay it back. Okay, so hold that billion-dollar number in your head. Now compare it to the second debt in the story. Another guy owes that first servant 100 denarii. Now that's not nothing, right? It's about 3 months' wages. But compared to the billions, it's pocket change. It's a debt that could actually be repaid. And this is where the story just blows your mind. The king forgives the billion-dollar debt. Poof, it's gone. An unbelievable act of mercy. And what's the first thing this forgiving guy does? He finds the dude who owes him that pocket change, grabs him by the throat, and throws him in prison. I mean, the hypocrisy is just breathtaking. And the king's question here just cuts right to the heart of it all.
All right, I know what you're probably thinking right now. There's this little voice in the back of your head, right? That little objection that's been bubbling up? Well, let's talk about it, because it's a big one.
It's that feeling, isn't it? Hold on a second. This isn't fair. It feels like you're just letting them get away with it scot-free. Like justice is just being thrown out the window, and it feels fundamentally wrong.
And you know what's so interesting? The source material says, you're absolutely right, it's not fair. And that one little admission, that agreement, is where this whole conversation takes a very sharp turn.
See, this is where it all clicks into place. Maybe. We've been asking the wrong question the whole time. The argument is that this whole thing was never supposed to be about fairness. It was always about something else entirely. Grace.
I mean, think about what grace actually is. By its very definition, it's unfair. It's a gift you didn't earn. You don't deserve it. That's the whole point. And to really help us get our heads around this radical generosity, there's another great story.
So check this out. You've got workers hired all day. Some guys show up at the crack of dawn, 6 a.m., and they work a full 12-hour day in the hot sun. Then another guy strolls in at 5 p.m. and works for just 1 hour. And at the end of the day, they all get paid the exact same amount. Can you imagine? The guys who worked all day would be absolutely furious. It's just not fair.
But the owner's response just stops you in your tracks. He basically says, hey, it's my money, can't I be generous if I want to be? And then he asks this killer question. Are you angry because I am a generous person? Oof, that really makes you think, doesn't it?
Okay, so let's bring all this home. What does this actually mean for you, for me, for us, right now?
Well, the point is this. When we get so stuck on fairness, when we hold on to that grudge like it's our right to do so, we think we're serving justice. But what if we're actually just building our own prison, brick by brick?
And there's this really powerful, almost brutal image for this. Picture your hands. If they are clenched, white-knuckled, metaphorically around the throat of someone you refuse to forgive, your hands are not open. They literally cannot receive anything. You're so focused on squeezing them that you can't accept the grace that's being offered to you.
And that's the ultimate takeaway here. That grudge, it isn't a cage for them, it's a cage for you. You're the one carrying that weight all day. So in the end, forgiveness isn't really about letting them go free, it's about unlocking your own cage. It's about setting yourself free.
So we're left with this final, really big choice. Because the idea here is that you can't have it both ways. If you demand a world of pure, cold, hard fairness for everyone else, well, you better be ready to live in that same world yourself. So the question is, what do you really want? A world of fairness where everyone gets exactly what they deserve, no more, no less? Or do you want to live in a world of grace? That's something to really chew on.